The mic's over here.
No problem. I was just checking something out. All right. Remember, let's get those leans. All right, guys. They get 20 foot both legs. So here we are. Get all the way up in there.
They're pretty good with
it's like we're running off of that camera.
Okay. Here we are.
Our overall view.
You probably
mine's on too.
Over here. That way I'm walking towards it. All right. All the way back.
Yeah, how about I direct that?
All right. We're going to switch the poles around just so we're facing the mic.
Ignore this horrible camera view as we move.
All right. There we go.
I don't like your stand.
That one, no.
No, I'm talking about this one. I don't like it. It seems wiggly.
It is wiggly.
I'm constantly worried it's gonna like break and fall off.
There we go. All right. All the way forward. And then back again. The reason we practice this one a lot, first now they're ready to go. Pull that mic in. Is this is the place where you can add that pressure and tension on your opponent. So if I'm standing in the mid, or perfectly straight up and down, evenly balanced 50-50, I can fall it back to pull. I can push forward and close another 6 inches or more and push. So this is the place where you can push that tension and pull that tension on people. So we want to make sure that you get really comfortable, because this way when you're stop in front of somebody, you can push and then you can pull, you can come back, you can throw, come back, and the other foot as well.
Responding.
We're going to probably pull the cameras in for a little bit underneath the flag. That way it's, we'll maybe switch over to Louis. Getting a little bit of rain here. You can leave that one. We'll switch over on broadcast to Louis. And we'll just drop that inside while this rain stays, and hopefully it'll go away quick.
All right, you're over here now.
All right. That works. That looks good too. Right on those toes. This is also the place where if I'm pulling, I sit back, I got about 90% here. So now I transition, and then my throw is right there before I fall and take the drop steps. So you see that real slow again. Here I am, 90% back in here. I transition, bang. The throw should be striking at about the same time your foot is leaving the ground. But that's when they're going to see, perception-wise, when they're going to see that foot move. Do that nice and slow until you lose that, and then just walk through it. We do it again. So here we are. We're going to go, we're going to go, we're going to go, try to hold it, and then just walk through it, keeping the head perfectly square. There, let's do it again. Here we are, from all the way back. Forward, forward. And then just slide through that scenario. Here we are. And then do it with your other foot. This gives you an illusion of burst as well, because your opponent doesn't see that body. And again, we're not leading with our shoulders on this. It should be nice, perfectly straight up and down, all the way through this. All right, let me go grab my chair real quick. Louis is gonna finish his up.
I'm behind. Where are we at? What are we doing?
We're doing longs.
I'm catching up on splits. I'm not doing long.
I'm gonna move mine under until the rain stops. Sorry, you're gonna lose my camera. Already switched though. So. Hey, it actually gets a little bit under here. All right.
Hey there.
Hey guys.
I'm looking for a bunch of people who like to wear funny clothes and hit people with sticks.
Yeah, they're around. We'll, hey, I see some people are indoors. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start up the ladder drill portion of this. Everybody looks like they're pretty ready. Let's see if Side's ready, because she's the primary.
The taskmaster.
The taskmaster.
Alrighty. Starting out with our 2-foot run.
I know this is going to be hell.
All good. It's floating.
All right.
So don't trip on the sticks. That's our challenge for today. And then, of course, backwoods.
That's whoop.
And I'm tripping. Let's try that again.
Let's try the other foot here. All right. And backward again. Other foot. Exactly. That might be the best way not to trip. All right.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
Looking good?
Yep.
Awesome.
Next, we're going to move on to our hopscotch. Go.
I know.
I started right here. I'm like,
Yes. I gotta grab the smaller pegs. And it's up off the ground, so those hopscotch have to get pretty big.
That's why we're slowing down. Oh, and I'm moving things over. This is actually working.
those. All right, Lou's making her ladder less dangerous.
You say that, I'm still gonna trip though. Guaranteed. Okay. Next one into this ear. So basic strap step.
Everybody shift your balance. You'll be falling into that step.
And backwards.
All right, taking a look. Margarita, looking better at these now. Side going through a second time. Other foot? Is that what you're doing, Side? Okay. Look like somebody's in the basketball arena. Awesome.
It's like this one does both sides. There isn't a other foot side.
Grimmer, where are you at?
Craig Gargoyles practice.
Awesome. Good to hear. Is that Godfrey with you? Awesome. Glad that all this ended up working out for you guys. All right, I'm going to switch back to me. Just got to make sure I'm on the right one. There we go. I think that's the one. Play spotlight.
Bam.
Bam. All right, next one.
Next one onto our steer shuffle version. So the outside leg comes in first.
No, they aren't. They're lying. Shuffle. Hoping this is the edge of the storm, and because it is getting lighter out, it just got a little misty.
Yeah. Like I see 1 or 2 people still going, but they're getting close. All right. Let's go on to our next one, which is the same thing, but now we're going to introduce that angle. 45 in towards the ladder.
Keep going.
Okay, don't do that last one. You took a mistake. And as Louis shine, go backward. We ready? Let's see how people are doing. Still see some folks running. We'll give it a second. Yeah.
Margarita, it almost looks like you're ready to go a little faster on these pretty soon. That's better. Nice job.
Alrighty. So next we're going to move into the 3-step. So this one is the take a step forward, do your shuffle across. Step forward, shuffle across.
So hard. I gotta work these more. Get that transition done right. How are they looking? Pretty good?
Pretty decent from what I can see.
Nice transitions there, Margarita. Yes, looking nice and smooth. All right.
All right. Moving on to the cross behind. So same thing, but now we're going to go ahead and let that foot swing behind instead of just coming together.
All right, let's see how everyone's doing here. Looks like River's helping Godfrey there. That's good. Try not to turn those hips too much, Margarita. You remember, try to keep them forward.
Tripping over all the things.
So we got to remember that foot, when it comes back here, stays flat. Don't turn heel. You do this, you see how I pivot my hip. You just keep that foot flat. Flat again. The hips don't turn.
And as per usual, the more you can get down into your stance and bend your knees, the easier it is to keep your hips from doing the wild twist. All right. I'm going to let Louis get through his run, and then we'll move on to the next one. Oh, and he's done already. Okay, next one is our 4-step. So remember, this is 2 steps, but it's one smooth motion to the side. So it's 1 in, 1 out. 1.
Exactly. The key is look at top of her head, doesn't move up and down in here. It's all nice and even. And backwards.
Backward. Oh, I apologize if our video is slowing down. We are doing our best on the phone in the park.
It's fine.
Okay, cool. It's having issues on our screen, but maybe that's just us. Doo doo. Oh, and Bess is getting multiples going sideways. Nice.
Awesome.
All right. Shifting gears, we're going to go into our quick feet stuff, our in and out out. Starting with the lateral sideways version. Here. This way, that looks a little better. So, in, out, out.
Nice and fast. Keep that head.
Make sure you go back the other direction.
Ready?
We have those right.
Bess is practicing her tempo changes around the dog. Looking good, guys.
All right.
Maggie, I decided to come in person.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. So now we're going to move to our forward in and out out. We're just like our broken down house after we go out here and back in. Oh no. I don't know how to work. Backwards. And since we have time, make sure you go ahead and do it where you start with the other foot. So if you started stepping with your left, start stepping with your right, forward and back.
No, I screwed up. That last one.
What happened to you out there?
Ah, those are killer on the legs.
Oh yeah. How's it going, Grimmer?
He gets a train today.
Yeah.
This is good. So we taught people, we wanted people to learn to show how to do it as well.
And then I guess, of course, the standard question, can you all still hear us? Because I'm never sure these days. Okay, thank you. New equipment set up, no one's talking, gotta check once in a while.
Exactly.
No, you guys are great.
Excellent. There's the camera. Gotta learn where it is again. All right, getting into our jab jumps now. Back over to the side. Whole body, forward and back.
Get long, nice cat jumps in there.
The upper body's moving forward and backward. It's great. All right. Ready to go on to switch foot?
Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll take that as a yes. Switch foot. So, switch feet under me. This time body stays in a straight line.
Keep your head up, keep your eyes up. There you go.
Recommend not going past the end.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been trying. Yeah. I want to practice this one. This one we're going to do a little bit later with a partner and with a drop on the butt for a leg shot.
Say what?
We're going to, later what we're going to try to add this one so that if, as you throw this shot, not only are you switching feet, but you're dropping lower.
Oh, so like lunge jumps.
Yeah, we just don't want to
Plyo lunges.
Right? And this is actually a really good thing to do for burst. You want an exercise to do at home, I was just watching this, is get into this deeper lunge and switch them. I've seen where they'll actually like.
Well, yeah, I've never seen him do it while staying low. There's always an actual jump in the middle. You kind of have to, but yeah, no, go look up like any HIIT workout on the entirety of the internet. They're all going to involve some form of squat jumps.
Yeah.
And some form of like plyo lunges where you're just doing this for like 45 seconds straight and you hate your life. It's super fun. But it's really good. It works. It just, like sucks for a while you get good at it. Okay. Grab them forward, one back. Big forward, small back. How do you want to think about it?
Watch the slippery grass.
Your hips stay forward, don't turn sideways.
Kids around while they're watching. Yeah. That's right. Rongwelder may be judging silently. Right. That's it. All right, Margarita, I'm going to push you a little bit more. I really want you to get bursting on those toes. I can tell that Bess is. She's already rubbing her legs up. That's good. Yeah, this is an exercise that you really want to work at first. Okay, so bang into the next position and back.
Again, this is where all the squat jumps and things come in. They sound so bad, they're 100% burst.
Right. The other foot if you want.
I guess we did take it down. Try to make sure our tent doesn't fly away as the wind picks up. A little touchy about it right now.
That was the other foot. Gotta get good both ways.
Just gonna keep tripping on stuff for your entertainment value. All right, last one with as many variants.
There's more coming.
You can just hop in and start running them while we talk about stuff.
You can do,
It's cool.
yeah, exactly. There we go.
Like you do your thing. So he's gonna jump in and start catching up on his boat. Online here.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna jump into the turning step, our last one. All the variants you feel like. But most basic one is just step with that back foot. Every time.
Keep your knees bent.
Yep. Keep your head nice and smooth.
Point your toe forward at a 90.
Another thing that I've just realized because of our ladder here. Another way you can sort of add complexity for yourself to make it more fun. Make your ladder rungs different lengths apart. And then actually work on stepping into each of the squares. So some steps are shorter and some are longer. If you have reached the point where your ladder drills are getting easy. That is another sort of next level thing you can add.
Oh, backwards.
Yeah, backwards.
Nice.
The variants you can do.
You can make them bigger too.
Oh. Rimmer is walking Godfrey through it.
Yeah, these are a little harder for new person. First time for Gottfried. Welcome, new person. And they're doing it at their local practice, local hangout.
So on that note,
Hey Godfrey, thanks for coming.
if you want to see it slower or in more depth or any explanation, let us know. We've been kind of running through them since it's been a lot of the same people over and over, but we are happy to break anything down if you need.
Oh, is that it? We're getting.
The feedbacks. Okay. Let's see him, Margarita. Nice. Good solid turn all the way around to dig it.
But they don't get it.
No, they're not.
You do your doubles in, you do your long jab steps. All right, just pushing you. Pushing and judging, here we go, you're gonna watch them. Keep your eyes up. Good, nice.
Good. Notifications, no.
Good. Good. You can see why that worked, right? And in that one, you can see why that back step works, because he's jabbing into me, which stops me. Go ahead, sorry, Lou. He jumps a little bit into me, stops me and then jumps farther away to get that extra range.
Oh. That is the last of the ladder drills.
All right, that was a good
So,
run.
Yeah. What do we do next?
So,
What is on the docket?
we do not need a Pell to do this next one. We're gonna practice. I want to grab my sword. Hold on.
Which
You got a boffer?
Yeah.
Okay. These guys are just catching up on a few ladder drills, and then we're going to practice one. You do not need a Pell in this position. A chair will do, a box will do, just an imaginary thing on the floor so that you know what you're doing, where your opponent is. So this one, and we don't have our Bobs here, so I'm going to use Bobby.
Handy dandy squire.
There we go. So in this switch foot, what I want everyone to get in their position, that good sword position, and then you're going to do this switch foot, and you're going to come down. Look at the distance I'm down. So here I start.
Back, show me leg.
I start here, good position, and switch. You notice this travels here. This could be this shot too. Here I am, good position, right here. But you can see my sword travels horizontal to the ground. If I stay in a high position, you notice this is not traveling high to the ground, and will end up easier for a shield to catch and or hitting a person's knee because your sword is traveling down angle. So let's get used to this. Here we are. And then switch back up. Sword back up. And this is a good place to start with that little turning wrap. Louis is going to explain the turning wrap. What's that? That little hook wrap. Nice and tight. Just explain it to everybody so they know. Do it nice and slow when you practice this, and we'll watch in a second.
So on the hook wrap, basically as we do the switch step, we get our hand out quite far, but we have to get low in the shot. And then we want to have the blade at a very big angle back relative to our hand. So we got to reach really far for that shot and then let it come back in. So here.
There you go. Here it is again. There you go. Now do it without the switch foot and show where that sword ends up on the... See, that's without the switch foot. It doesn't get quite as far back, which a lot of times will lead into catching the shield instead. So, go ahead.
With the switch step, you can get your hand from here out to here. So you can get a bigger angle to cut back on the shield.
Another way to practice that one, if you have it.
Yeah,
So,
that's like
it's her shield edge. So, there we are. There we go. And Louis' sword gets blocked here. And you can see now he's right around it.
So I've got like 4 or 5 inches to spare now.
But that's what a pole will help with practicing, is showing the distance or that change in that shield piece.
How about we move our camera view over there,
Okay.
so that he can keep running ladder drills.
That sounds good.
Get caught up on his stuff. He's like,
Right there.
ta-da!
Awesome. All right. So go ahead and do it again.
Wait, let's turn this so we can actually see what we're doing.
If there's anyone that wants to be inspected, come on over and see me.
The ladder's open, so
That is with armor on.
inspected.
Like, inspections aren't mandatory, but if you haven't used your equipment in a while, it's recommended.
All right, I'm gonna get so as we're doing this, I'm gonna watch everybody a little bit. All right. So one thing that we'll see here is I want Louis to show this. is I see a few people breaking the hand out early. So you want to hold it until they turn, right? So shoot it, show it a little bit, change your angle. So I'm like, yeah, there we go. So you watch Louis' sword. Watch where his basket is at the beginning here. You see how it's actually going to come down first. See it still, and then he turns it out at the end. There we go.
So I'm trying to come over the top with it instead of looping around with it. So I'm trying to come down on top.
You can make it a straight line instead of circle there.
Right, so.
This large loop is very easy to see.
And that's where people tend to take your arms because they see it starting early. Also, look where the sword falls out too early so your opponent can see it. Now watch when he throws a good one. That sword doesn't fall out until the very end. It's harder to see. All right, let me watch how people are practicing that. That's the way. Margarita, you can just do it that way, yeah. All right, Bess, I'm going to watch you a little bit. I'm going to spotlight. Let's see here. Let's see who's doing it. Do it again, Bess. That's it. Now get that timing, Bess. There we go. So just as that front foot kind of switches, there, right there. That's the timing you want, Bess. Nice. That is much better. All right, Margarita, I'm watching you. Yeah. So now I want you to time the throw and the switch foot at the same time. Good.
Who are you talking to?
I was just watching Margarita. So let's see you guys. I'm going to highlight you guys for a second. Nice, Margarita. That's right up to the back there. That's good. Ladder's open too. You're wrong, Calder, if you want to run it. All right. Play spotlight. All right, I'm on you guys. The Great Gargoyles there. Let's see what you got. Nice, switch foot. That's good. Good, nice. So this is a real important one for you, Grimmer. Very good. That's the way, guys. Yes. Now, I want you guys to add one more piece to this. I'm going to go back and highlight side here, and we're going to add one more piece to this. So this piece, what we're going to do is she's going to give you a little shoulder fake to freeze it, and then she's going to switch foot to the leg.
Good shot. So, this.
Remember when we talked about fakes? Give them the whole show. In other words,
Go like this. Don't unload your gun. Just do your shoulder. Don't, not even that much. Just. So you do it. Okay. Okay, it's a thing. Correct.
Highlight.
Good.
Good. Remember, better. Now it's coming down. I'm watching you back.
Just obviously you keep it in the same spot.
Yes. Hey, can you close the back of my car?
They got highlights. What? The more you get, like the more you do it, the more you get.
Hey, Grimmer, go ahead and mute your mic.
My feet were bad. I thought myself. I thought myself corkscrewing. Time to
And I'm gonna.
It's because you're moving
Fake there.
There wasn't.
I like Margaret. There we go. Good. That's nice. Good. See it again, Margarita.
If we can use the tiles, this is probably his stance. Okay?
We have to unmute them or can they unmute them?
But watch Margarita now.
All right, remember, let's do that shoulder fake again. I want everybody to take a stop for a second. I want to see, make sure everybody knows this fake.
Skiers.
So you gotta sell the shoulder fake. Otherwise, this is what we call the freeze. This is, you can do this on almost any shot. We are adding it to a switch foot, but I'll do it just by itself. Not quite sure if I'm going to hit her because I really do want to hit her right in that temple up there. Here we are. Exactly. I'm pushing. I'm focusing. I'm breathing out on the first portion. I'm dropping in tension here, almost dropping into my feet a little bit. That freezes that high place, and then you can drop low. You can use that same fake for a double. Here we are. Bang. And on the relaxation, you throw the blow. So you can show, and I'm going to show it nice and small. You see, I'm pushing. I'm actually just dropping down a little bit. I push this out a little bit, about an inch, and I add some breath and focus to my opponent. And you don't let this. That's not threatening. You have to remember the top of your sword is what threatens them. So a little bit of force on tightness on this hand moves that tip a little bit forward, and that adds to it. Yep. That's it. All you're doing is adding a little tension. Here we are again. See, already all I'm doing is collapsing my hand, the bottom two fingers. It moves my sword forward. If I stand right here like this and collapse my fingers, that's what happens. That's part of this fake. All right? So here we are. Now I add a little bit of drop and a little bit of air. Bang. All right? So now here I'm going to add for that switch foot. Here we are. Okay? So that's that fake. We have to get that fake. This fake all day without doing anything. You want your opponent's fake. Puts thoughts in their head like defense, and it pulls. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, I'm gonna get hit. And if you're not actually throwing the shot, then they're like, is he throwing or isn't he throwing? You know. And now they have lots of decisions to make, and what we're doing is putting more thoughts in their head, making them think more, which breaks them down. So here we are. I could be like, hey, hey,
jab, jump,
hey.
switch foot, 2 foot.
Exactly. Now,
Eventually, I'm just gonna get out of there.
Exactly. So that fake is really important in almost any fight. That fake also allows you to read. That's your first layer of probing. So if I want to see if she's going to drop right away, here I am. And she tilts to this side a little bit that time and leans onto her back foot. So I might do this. And then I shoot around her front foot and throw that wrap. Let me show you real slow motion. See how she tilts back? I shoot over here with the other foot and throw that wrap.
You've been following him, I can't move up.
Right, because now she's turning in the hip. Her sword's way back here. My defense is here. I'm behind her own shield. I have lots of layers of defense. So, do it again. This time I'm going to take it a different place. So I could literally take over here. And this time again, I'm breaking that toe. See, so I'm going to do it slow. Here I am. I fake over here. She leans. So she pushes into that front foot, essentially leans. So now I push here, and I shoot over here. I can shoot the inside leg. I can shoot the outside leg. All right? So again, what led us to that place is the fake. So what we need is we are going to take a look and see what everybody's fakes look like.
Yay!
All right. If you can't convince Side, she's going to call you out. We're going to put it on a gallery view so we can see everybody.
No, we're not.
Oh, no, we can't. That's right.
What? We're going to start by taking a look at Margarita.
There we go. So Margarita, good fake. Don't worry about the changing foots. I just want to see the fake. So right now your hip is turned back, right? I want your hips a little bit squarer at us. There we go. Hand up a little higher, shoulder height. Remember with that hand. There we go. Right. So you don't have to go into the whole swing. A lot of people, this is what I see. Margarita, I'm going to go back. What I see you doing is you're here and you're like going into almost a full swing. So what I want is all you do is about 1 inch forward.
Little twitch.
Look how small that is. Okay, so let's see that nice small fake. Going back to you.
And here you are.
That's it. Now get on those toes a little bit. That's a little better. Hand up a little higher. There we go. Now, one other thing I want to point out to people.
Oh, did we answer this question?
Okay.
I don't know when it popped up a couple of minutes ago. How do you hold the balance when we change the stand or the stance? That's what I see that means during the switch foot jump.
So I'm guessing that is the balance is already in your center. So we're going to go back to me for a second. We're talking about balance. So if you're in a switch foot and you lean, your balance is going to fall forward, right? So we learned already leaning is bad. Your balance is here. It doesn't matter where our feet are. You could just lift your feet and slide because your balance stays right at the center. All right, so I'm gonna add another thing. Is we have this again. Your hand. I'm gonna come up really close to the camera. This is what I see a little bit. My hand is pointing away from my opponent. So the first thing you have to do is when a lot of people, because your hand points away, you will fall out. This is what the sword looks like when your hand's pointing away. So as I throw, I fall. That sword falls out. One thing we do a lot of is this hand goes from away, okay, to pointing right at, you notice I'm pointing right at the camera. This gap becomes very small. This is away, and it's tiny. You can see this is tiny. I see people do this too. See how I turn my wrist? Now, that angle in your arm is wrong. And you actually, to throw a shot, you have to turn it. And as you turn that angle, your sword falls up. So you want to start nice and strong. This line here, right down your arm, all the way to your elbow, is one line. If I'm standing right here, I should be able to throw a punch right at you. You can see how I throw that punch right at you. I don't throw a punch like this. Okay? You want that right at your opponent so that when you push, it's straight at them. That way your sword doesn't fall out. So just something to keep in mind is a lot of people will make blocks like this. Once you're in, I love making people make a block like this because I know I can catch their sword. Because when they actually block, they actually have to come back and then their sword falls out. You see how my tip fell out? And then it's very easy to block. So if you can make somebody think that you're going to hit an elbow and turn their hand, you are winning. Keep that in mind, okay? So this is those little tips that can help you in the fight. You can make people do subtle items like this.
Can you explain how lefty blocks the elbow?
Say that again?
Can you explain how lefty versus righty blocks the elbow without moving their hand or turning their hips?
This is what I see on a lefty versus a righty on elbow block. I see this a lot, and I'm going to tell you a few things. What's that? Yeah, there we go. So she's going to be the righty. I'm going to be the lefty. Okay? So what happens here is there's a couple of things I see. One is a lot of people will drop, throw that leg shot, and drop. Yep, there you go. So watch. A lot of people will drop this way. Well, the problem with dropping this way is your sword goes away from your opponent, and you're actually not you're not really catching it. I see people drop and pull their arm back to them. Okay, hit the leg. She's still hitting the leg because my sword is coming back here. There's still a gap, right? I'm actually still losing. Let me fix my feet. Even here, there we go. She's still hitting it because I'm pulling the sword back, and she's still catching that angle under the sword because I'm pulling it back. Like a hockey goalie, watch this, ready. I push out slightly, about 1 inch out. Notice I'm not dropping the sword, I'm just dropping forward with the hand. Now the angle is completely gone. So the idea here is push out into that position, you're catching them earlier in the throw, and then it becomes an easier block without you having to drop all the way down.
Familiar with the cone of defense. You're increasing your cone of defense by moving it up.
All right, so one more time, here we are. All we're doing is dropping in. There we go, she was faking me.
Try it. It's real hard to do. It doesn't tend to work.
There we go. All right, so this is a good exercise, Grimmer, to practice just like what we were doing there, even adding, so start slow with, whoops, sorry, I'm looking at the other camera. Start slow with this one, like what we were just doing, where I'm just making blocks and she's throwing the normal shot, and then go ahead and have them add some fakes with it so that you get comfortable just making easy blocks. You notice as she added fakes, it didn't matter. Yeah, I added more tension, but then I could come back and I could always pop back into shape. But that's that getting used to doing that. The more you practice that, the more you're comfortable with that, the less thought you have to use in your head, and it just becomes part of the normal blocking cycle you're in. This is also where this works almost identically for Florentine. So if I've had 2 sticks, here we go. I'm gonna fake having a sword here and a shield. So I'm righty this time, but this shield is for blocking this part of the body. So I'm blocking this sword, right? And then so here I am, you notice this is coming down. I am not doing this, by the way. I am not chasing with my shield. Because if I chase with my shield, she's gonna fake low and then hit me in the head. Look how I drop my body, right? I'm still all there. So I got the block on this side and I got a block on this side. So all of a sudden, here we go.
I don't do stand.
So the idea is,
Not the greatest example.
you notice that the piece there is to make sure that I separate the two, right side, left side. If you find yourself blocking the wrong way, in other words, give me yeah. So if she throws this headshot, and I do this is a weak block. And the reason that becomes weak is 2 things. It pulls you out of your normal throwing position, and if now she's gonna fake this side and hit me right in the arm or in the body. But if I just left it here and picked this up with the shield, look at my sword's already in position, even if she throws the body. There we go, and I punch out and catch that offside. Does that help, Grimmer? So Margarita, so this is, you're a Florentine person, this goes for you as well. These same blocks work the exact same way for you, okay? So as an exercise here, what I want you to go ahead and do is, I'm gonna be on camera, Side's gonna be watching people, I'm gonna throw a blow, and you guys are gonna make a block. you better be dropping in those knee legs.
This is a fun game.
All right? So the idea here is I'm going to throw a blow. 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 And you guys need to block with the side that is the correct one for you. In other words, if I'm throwing to the right side, you're blocking with the left side. If I'm throwing to the left side, you're blocking to the right side. So, but you need to be dropping and you need to be pushing that sword forward. Saib's going to watch, okay? And we're going to see how that goes. All right, go ahead and put Marguerite on. Margarita, both swords.
Okay, and Margarita.
All right, you ready?
Can you still see a camera view of Bronis?
Oh, that's true. Can they see me?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. No one's responding.
Go ahead, Mark.
We see Margarita, we don't see you.
Yeah, so
Can you add two? All right.
So the Bronis Louis Sav view is the one you want to spotlight. There you go.
There we go. All right. You ready? Here we go. There we go. Ah, that the other hand. Yes. Yes, that's good. Now, don't push out. Just push forward. If you push out, then my sword's not in throwing position. So you got to watch that a little bit. So remember, if you're blocking that head one, then just push it out a little bit. Ready? Here we go again. And everybody could do this. We're just watching her, but you all could be practicing.
Hold on.
Good. That was nice. They'd definitely be able to see me.
Well, for some reason it's showing this. I don't know why it's showing this.
No, she was following me though.
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about Facebook. They're just seeing.
Oh, Facebook's not
blank.
showing it. Oh.
Yeah, when we tried to spotlight too, nothing showed on Facebook.
All right,
so
that's all right. Just
we can apologize to our Facebook friends.
exactly.
And
What you could do is show Bronis and side you watch Marguerite and you could comment.
well, yeah,
Yeah, just a small screen for us. That's all.
Oh, okay.
super tiny video. Trying to, but
Can you
I
put it to on the right side and make my screen smaller?
no.
Okay.
That only works when you're sharing screen, not when you're spotlighting video.
Okay.
I've tried it.
All right, that's okay. She's gonna watch. Now she's gonna watch you best. Don't mess up. Brown Brother's gonna watch too. I'm just kidding. Yes. Oh, well, he's still gonna judge. Right, here we go.
Hold on. They're turning. I don't know what's happening.
What happened?
I don't know. She was turning and I wasn't sure what happened.
Okay.
I'm not good with spatial awareness. I had to figure out where I was relative to him. It's a thing. Left, right, up and down, it's hard.
I'm gonna do it really slow. All right, you ready? Here we are.
Yep. Yeah. You picked the wrong arm. And also, just in general, that's your shield and sword blocks up over your head. I think they could be a lot smaller and still get the job done.
And that's important. All of this is about being small. The one reason why you see me drop into my legs instead of moving my swords around and my shield is I drop to make these blocks is because if for some reason they faked, I haven't moved anything yet, and then I can move if I have to. So I got two blocks there if I need them. If I just move right away and it's a fake, then I'm recovering really hard. So also by creating a smaller space, by dropping in those legs, you create a smaller space, harder for them to hit. Ron Weller's being nice. He's gonna grab his pad for us so you can watch on there too. Oh, I see what, good idea. All right, we're gonna try this. We're gonna go and we're gonna try this one more time. I want a couple more times with Grimmer. There we are. And you got Grimmer, and I'll do it twice with you guys.
Yep, we got both of them.
And you guys could be, since you're two of you, you guys could be working this on each other.
Oh no, they're both watching you now.
All right, that's fine.
He's gonna do it backwards.
Remember, Grimmer, that means you have to drop and push that hand forward, not the sword. So watch Grimmer.
Yep, better. Don't need to cross your body with the sword to block.
Yeah.
Use that shield hand.
There we go. We're going to do it again.
Good squat.
Good. One more time. One more time for everyone here. Here we go.
Very next space.
There it is.
Good. How they look?
Pretty good overall. I will say for Grimmer, we need to like decouple your sword and shield hands. Because you're going to like push that sword out into a really awesome leg lock with your sword, and then your shield goes right there with it. So it's getting kind of a this effect. And this one needs to stay here. It's still got more things to block. This one's got it covered, I promise.
And this is a case where if you have somebody that can help you, they can literally stand in front of you. If you're not picking it up right away, have them do it half speed, and then just slowly practice, decouple, and that way you can make sure that that you're doing it the right way, and then they can pick up speed, and then they can actually even add some fakes in it. So this is a really important point to blocking. The idea, if you can make people move, you can create opportunities. So the smaller you move, and this is a big thing in almost all martial arts, the smaller you can be, the better that essentially you get. This is including even a sword shot. Here we are. If I'm here and I'm sword is way back here like this is a big shot. So usually what we see is other people will set up like here different motions to create these shots, and those motions create that illusion. If you want to throw more of a jab, we keep it nice and small. We're straight in front of each other, and bang, we throw straight out, straight at the camera, right? Or my fist, I pull these fingers here. Watch my sword. Here we are. Look how the sword automatically starts right as I start driving forward. That sword's already starting forward. It's not this. See, my sword didn't start forward yet. Right? So there's no danger. But if it's here, see how its sword starts forward right away? That's where we want. We want those fingers to pull, and the top of your start pressuring your opponent. Okay? So I want everybody to go ahead and try the sword and tightening those fingers, even if it's just sword right in front of you, knuckles straight towards your opponent, and then and on the camera, turn sideways so we can see it. Just pull those back fingers. Your front fingers actually, watch my fingers. These two are open, and then I switch them. These two are open. Then I switch back, two open. Okay, these again could be open. I just let them loose. Uh-oh. You're in pain. What are you for pain for? Damn it. Oh, it's back.
I don't even know what's causing the bruise.
That's it. Yep. 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 There you are. Exactly. Now go ahead and make it look like a book. There you go. Yes. Good. Yep. There you go. That's good. All right. So you can see, because you start moving that and add a little pressure in your hand, it actually also creates that line of illusion. So essentially, you're getting a little tension when that's created. We got like a fine mist constant here right now. But it turned out to be a pretty good practice with a lot of people.
Yeah, we'll put the camera around here and look at the gloriousness. We're finally allowed to have real practice.
What? All right. So what I want to do here is, in the next one here, is I want you to see those little tiny movements that Cy was just making. Just really small, right in here. It's like. All right. I want to see those really small and sharp.
Now here's a good conversation we should have while we're doing this is, I'm doing these and I'm getting these fabulous, great reactions from you. What happens when you inevitably walk into a fight and I start doing these and my opponent gives me nothing?
Then most likely what happens, so if your opponent gives you nothing, most likely it's because they don't believe you're actually going to do it. So sometimes you just have to do it and throw something big and hard. So all of a sudden it'd be like, go ahead, bam! She hits, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Now I got to pay attention. There we go. So now what happens is I have to believe. So first you have to get them to believe. That could also mean throw that jab to their face.
Well, here's the other question. Is sometimes it's because they're good and they don't believe you, and sometimes it's because they're new and they just don't see it. How do you tell the difference? How do you figure out what you're working with?
So
if they're just not reading,
so there's,
or if they don't
so
believe
the
it,
big
those are
piece
different.
is if they're not reading it, it may be actually because they're, here's a prime example why somebody wouldn't read these. That's because they can't see you. Literally, they are so they're so close-sighted or whatever that they can't see what you're doing, and that makes it hard. So you have to give bigger motions. But it also means that they probably can't see a quick jab at your face either. So throw that quick jab on their hand or on their helmet. Hold on, I'm going to grab a sword and I'm going to show you. All right, here we are. I'm going to do nothing in front of Cy here, and she's just going to go ahead and throw.
I'm trying to do those same things. If you're not really
I am reacting, that's a problem.
Well, yeah, pretend that you're a music box that just doesn't know what's going on.
Too hard to do.
Like, oh, okay.
So now, right? So now the trick is if you don't react, then you're just looking for the opening. In other words, there's most likely an opening there, and you can just throw straight to that opening. So, especially this is one of those cases. Stake towards the leg and see what they do. Well, if I did nothing, what's your next step? Throw to the leg. Exactly. So you just have to remember that that's what probing is for. Probing is to make sure that you can see what is available to you from your opponent. If the person has if the person either a duke or a knight, then they could be trying to ignore it all, and that's where throwing really tight, long-range shots sometimes can pull them into some of those tension zones.
higher skilled person, it's more likely that they just don't believe you.
Right, so here's an example of me doing that against side.
Also real bad face.
Exactly. Now I'm like, okay.
Even if I didn't get him.
She made me move out, so now she's making me do something. So the next thing is she can add a little bit more tension onto that. So now she made me do something. She can burst into higher tension real quick, not even going forward. Just bring up that energy. Now it's harder for me to not exactly, because now she speeds up. It's harder for me to stay calm. Because in my head, I'm processing more again. All right?
Can I do an input?
Yeah.
So I get a lot, I'm going to use Sive as an example, because what you guys are talking about is I run into a lot with her. Movement's great, she goes around, she threatens, and then she attacks. But I can tell the difference between her threats and her attacks. And the impression I get is when she's threatening, when she's attacking, she's attacking. What I mean by that is when she's threatening, she has no intent to throw. And I can feel that from her. So what I learned when I was doing that was every threat, every test, every pressure, whatever you want to call it, is an actual shot. In your mind, it has to be bang, 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 bang. And you just don't complete that. So it goes just like a real shot. So in my head, it is a real shot. So I don't have to worry about trying to fake somebody because it's a real shot. I just don't actually complete it. So when you get a better fighter who's not picking up on what you're doing, in all likelihood, they may be able to tell the difference between when you're just threatening and you don't have intent and when you're actually attacking. So beware of where you are in your own head.
And Dennis walked away, so I don't know where we were going next. But if you have questions, now's a great time to throw them in the chat or out loud, and or keep working these with your partner or at home or wherever you are until we get him back over here.
I can't block an offside or lefty versus righty. I can't block the wrap to my elbow by going out.
Ooh, okay, that's another Ronvalder question.
Ronvalder. After he's getting a hug. Hold on.
Very important.
Here's the sword.
Business.
You're blocking. Grimmer's having issues, and this goes for Florentine as well with blocking. He's having trouble. He can push block these, right? You can get those, but he's having a little bit of issue with those elbows.
That wrap, right? Is that the one you're talking about? Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I find two things. I can pull back. So if he throws, I can pull back. The problem with pulling back is you can see I go from fairly well protected to wide open. So this is a risk. I prefer going forward to pick it up, and as I go turn out, I don't turn my arm out. So if I turn my arm out, he's going to threaten the outside and hit me on the inside. I need to maintain my inside line. So I push down with my hand and turn my knuckles out. So it does this. The basket ends up picking up. Right.
Is your gun still loaded?
If I just throw, hold on. If I just throw the leg, he's going to keep that basket on me. See, that's still on me because now he can return a shot. There he goes. All right. What he's waiting for me is he starts seeing this turn right at the end, and then he turns it out at the very end.
Okay. Now we're doing the stagnant, and that's important for practice. But just remember, that's for practice to figure out where you need to be for the block. The rest of my body, now I'll do the same thing, but watch what the rest of my body does.
Ah, you see, now he hardly even has to turn because look, he's taking the elbow away. Also, with this movement, he can literally, instead of turning out, he could actually step sideways and pick it up without turning out.
Okay, so the way I think of it in my head is where I need to be in relation to my opponent. So what I like about movement is if he changes his mind, let's say he's threatening this elbow, and he drops it into a leg, and I miss the block. Okay? If I'm stagnant, I lose it.
And he'll throw this one all the time. He's taking both legs out. You just have to watch. You'll get a little tilt on that.
Yeah.
All right. But
you have to come back like we've been practicing with movement.
Exactly.
So the other question he had as you were showing it was, is your gun still loaded?
Is it still loaded?
Yeah.
It sort of is. So the issue is once he's thrown and I blocked, okay, this is still in line with my shoulder. This change is minuscule. What I've lost is my arm is no longer cocked. But if I'm comfortable, I can start my shot without moving the weapon, but move me into the right position.
Exactly. Or don't even, remember, he doesn't even need to step here. He pushes this out. Now he just leans onto his front foot. Look how that. He just cocked that arm. Look at that arm cock. This is the thing that we do all the time. And then bang. So the arm is cocking through this. This is the one reason why, like, everyone's like, oh, you guys can't throw like this. Your arm's cocked. Not cocked. You can never get enough power.
You're right. We don't throw like that.
And it's leaning,
Correct.
the shifting drill. Look what happens in this shifting drill. As they shift, that arm gets...
You want to practice this, do it against the stagnant thing. So if he does it again, put your hand against the wall and lean in. You notice the sword doesn't move at all. So at this, an opponent often, this is one of the reasons they think I'm fast, is because I make the movement and I leave my weapon. And then I complete the shot. So I cocked my weapon without moving the weapon, so they never saw a movement. So it looks fast. It just didn't move the sword, that's all.
So it's a really important piece to think about, something we haven't talked about, but that's where that power generation is coming from. By the way, we're talking a lot of about the left hand, but this is the same with a right-hander against the left-hander. So there is no difference. Don't give. Everybody has benefits. It's not just, oh, this is a left-hander thing. This is not.
Or right blocking an elbow. Right. Louis throws a particularly good shot at a right-hander's elbow. Okay. If I push forward with the same block, I can get the same. Effect.
That's how we block that elbow.
Right. But so this is how I'm blocking. If I block this way, I can protect my elbow, and he gets this. So then he threatens the outside and just hits me in the chest, right? But if I keep it straight, the threat doesn't matter.
But now even if doesn't matter, he's still there. Remember that make small blocks.
Hey guys, I don't know if it's possible, because I know we're in practice right now. You know what I would like to see is you two fight, and then just see, like, watch you actually, fighters who know what we're doing, what we're practicing, incorporating it. I don't know how others feel about that, so maybe I hang around after the Zoom is over. But I'd sure like to watch you guys do this, like, live in action, so to speak.
Well, we covered a couple of things. We didn't cover pressure and tension, but we did cover that shifting. We covered some fakes. We covered a lot of items. I think we're about 2 hours in.
Yep.
Hour 40 minutes.
Hour 40 minutes. So we're going to go.
What we could do is, after we're done with the formal class part, we kill the Facebook feed and we just set up a camera and leave it running. And if you want to sit in the Zoom and watch, cool. Okay. And I'll spar, make sure you do it in front of the camera.
And what we'll do right now is, we'll grab some equipment, and we'll just go ahead and keep it foam. You can grab this sword if you want. I'm going to keep it foam, just my shoulders. I worked hard yesterday. And then we'll go through a couple of really quick passes.
Cool beans, thanks.
And then we'll talk about what happened, especially in pieces of it. We'll like, okay, stop. And then we'll do in slow motion what we were both thinking and what was executed. So let me go get my hat and gloves and stuff. Meanwhile, I want you guys to work on those little quick fakes with the hands again. Or actually, have them work on this one. This is what I go ahead and put your hand out. And lean. Yes, the sword doesn't move. I want you to all work on this.
That whole shift. We're doing that same shift we've always done, straight into here.
And this is a touch. It's not a push. You're not pushing against the wall or the post or whatever. You're just making barely contacting it.
Leaving it in space while I'm doing that shit.
So now watch what happens when she's getting ready to throw. Bang, and then she can go ahead and throw. After the arm gets cocked. So let me go get my stuff. Grunwalder got his helmet already.
Or are you more concerned?
What?
Fight today? No.
Eventually.
Fight.
Doing this, and we'll see how my elbow holds up and then I'll
Here, I'll fix it. That's it.
Sky, I just want to point out the ladders there, eh? So they may not, you might want to be aware of a tripping hazard.
Oh, like my ladder's over there. We're not on it anymore.
If Bronis and Rongvalder fight there,
They'll fight out.
Okay.
Oh, it's on a tripod. It's easily movable.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for taking care of them.
But right now we're just dodging rain because it suddenly picked up on us again.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure all the stuff is under our little tent.
It is nature's sweat.
Nature's sweat.
That's nature's sweat. On the day that it's not hot. So
I was gonna say, yeah, it's only like 69. Yeah, compared to all the other days that we had.
94, 213 degrees.
Yeah, that's the last week or so. Or last month or so it's been.
all right, we're gonna hide from the rain and kind of see how y'all are doing.
If you're not in the rain.
It's been a long rain.
It's been a very long rain.
Indeed. I'm kind of proud
But all
of
of the
Atlanta for
forever royalty are finally getting their chances to look down.
That was rough, and I hearing some of the complaints and gripes, I'm kind of going, suck it up, buttercup, and come back another day. I'm awfully glad to see you in person. It's been a long time. Hey, thanks. We were so lucky to be able to get them together at the right moment.
And there's Bess being all smart, stretching out her shoulder, reminding us all that we should be smart.
Oh, I've been watching some of it. Oh, have you? Yeah. And I love the movement around the Visha and all of that. Yeah. Also been great. We got a
Really good group of students.
Well, the inside of my hoodie is starting to feel wet.
Yeah, between that and the round caving, it's been really rich content.
Is that still fakes you're working there, Margarita? The fakes are blocks.
Daughter found with a 15-foot stick.
That must be a hard rain because I can see it on the Zoom.
Yeah, it picked up real hard all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What you're seeing is the drip coming off of the tent, but they're fairly representative.
All right, can we figure out what we have as a limit where we need to stay between?
Yeah. Just sort of,
All right.
yeah, set up away from the ladder.
Right about here.
All right, here we go. We got him, guys. That, and y'all are far enough back. You've got a lot of latitude, and I can sort of move a little to follow if necessary. I would just say don't drift further away from the camera because it gets too small to see detail.
I do it, you got me. Did you switch there? Oh, bitch. Yeah.
Apparently it works.
Money back.
Well, Bronis pointed this out last time. First of all, his safety is my shield side.
You notice I'll step over that. In other words, I'm taking that wedge away. So as I fight him, I put pressure on this elbow, and then I step right over here. And I use his shield as my block.
So what I started doing early on, I tried to keep up with him. But this just becomes a race. I don't get anything, and he still has some timing advantage. The first thing I started doing is, as he starts to go, a cross step.
So he's outside the wedge.
Right. So what I found was it takes away his advantage, but I don't actually get one yet. It just keeps him in front of me. Something I did, and I didn't know it till he pointed out, as we went across, I switched. Do it again, slow.
And
do
it again. Right? He's going to do it right. I'm going to turn, and you're going to do it kind of right here. See how he switches his feet? So what it did is it put more pressure on my arm. Last week we found this out. He's like, so why weren't you countering to my arm? And it's like, because it wasn't there anymore. Because as before, if he doesn't switch his feet, here's what I do. Then he's kind of stuck. So I just push over here, and then I'm over here. So now, this time he switches feet. Watch, here we go again. No switch. I'm here, and then I'm over here, and then he gets a little stuck. Because now he's still responding to me. And I don't have to worry about that hand. Watch, look where his hand is when he doesn't move his feet. See, I'm still comfortable because I know as I cut back, I can literally pick this sword up with my shield because I'm across him already. But as he switches, when he changes legs, look what happens. I'm feeling uncomfortable because he can throw, because that sword is over on this side. So now, even if I try to do something, see that? He's throwing around me. Watch what happens if he doesn't switch feet and tries to throw around me. I don't care. Watch when he switches. Still right around my block. So that's something that we actually learned last week when we had discussion why I wasn't I was like, he shut down the inside leg for me, And then he shut down the arm on me. So I was having a hard time figuring out what my next target was, which then leads me into the thinking mode. And he's leading the thinking mode, i.e. he's the one that can now be the person making the decisions, not me.
Can you give a commentary about what your mental process was as you were doing this? Were you like, okay, he's going left, I'm going to shuffle foot. Oh, he's doing this, I'm going to do this. I'm coming out of the pie of death. He's coming into the pie of death.
I'll show you my standard is this. Here I am. I put pressure on his elbow. You see how he drops?
Yep.
Now, sometimes he will tilt forward. So sometimes if I go low, every once in a while he'll tilt. And when he tilts, I know I totally own this. So I learned something right from the beginning. And then he fixes it because he knows he tilts. And so now when he doesn't tilt, I move over to this shield. That's my first step because that's where safety is. Now against a tall person, maybe like Grimmer, it may not actually be very safe because he can throw high head loops. So just watch against taller people. You're actually safer when you're closer to them. And I'll show you what I mean later on that. But here I am, fake at the elbow, come over here. So that fake at the elbow allows me to try to break that step. Now, he followed me really closely, so I'm gonna cut back and see what happens. See, that time I didn't even take the whole step sideways. I just went here with a half a step, and then I went here. Now, the thing he did is he backed up. When he backs up, I'm thinking he's taking his sword away. And now I can shift back across the shield and maybe get an inside leg. So this is what that would look like. Okay, now he's ducked. I got to take a some. You see how he's trying to pull everything away. He's in a position he can't throw, and he's not in a very comfortable position. Yeah, so my next shot is literally, looks like this. You see how we just set that whole fight up?
Yeah, cool beans, thanks.
Okay, so that's what's happening when we're thinking through those fights. And again, you notice some of that, neither of us have to do anything. We just know what's going to happen. We put the pressure, and then we know what's going to happen. So Romuald's going to go ahead and apply a fight here, and then he's going to talk about what he's applying.
Okay, y'all are going to move that way a little bit so you don't trip over the ladder since we got the very tall stakes.
Yes. Good. Right on the arm.
So I know that Branus likes his safe place is to my shield side. So the first thing I did was, instead of lining up on him straight up, I lined up just a couple inches to the shield side. So I'm quarter step in to his safe area. So here we are. So instead of here, where it's 50-50, I know he likes this side. So I set up just a couple inches over. Right, so I'm outside his shield. So a single step does not actually give him safety. Also what it does is, because I'm left-handed, a couple inches lines my sword up without moving it, lines it right up with the center slot. So if an opponent is weak in the center, I don't have to move. I set up here. Back up. No, you define it. So out here, when I step up slightly to my right. Now I'm on this, I've taken some of his safety away, and I can pressure the center.
Okay, and that's going to collapse my arm. I'm going to try to pick that up with my sword and shield. Here we are.
Now, what he did in our particular pass was, I took the safety, and then I threatened the center, and he used my threat as a good time to get to his safety place. So he took his one step?
Yeah, so I stepped over here.
Yep, so he stepped over to his safety place. But I had a little bit of time because I started that way a little bit, so I could go with him. Then there was this jockeying in between, for who can get on the outside. I kept trying to get outside. I switch-footed a couple times because I know he knows that we've been practicing it. So I did a switch foot with no intent beyond the switch foot. So he'd be thinking, hopefully, oh, Longboulder's trying some of the new stuff. And then I let it go and went back to trying to get position. And when I felt him move forward on a right angle towards my shield, then I did a switch foot in location and threw over. So that's what happened in my head. That makes sense?
I'm hoping that you guys can see. So this is where you can actually practice this kind of stuff against an opponent, or you can imagine it against your bob or against your pelt. The key is that you're practicing some thought out ideas here. Almost all my stuff starts with some movement. So I'll be out here, and now this could be movement right into his sword side. I mean, I could literally start here and then try to drive in here, right? So that way I could pin this arm down a little bit. Up where I am.
I don't know.
Well, you're in a frame.
Here we go, ready? So here I throw this pin and I step over here like I'm gonna go that way. Then I'm over behind it. So this you can do right on a pelt. So if Longboulder's the pelt, he's just gonna stand there. I'm gonna throw, I'm gonna step here for a second, and then I'm gonna roll over here. Here you can throw the inside leg or around to the back. But again, you notice we are setting up those possibilities. Right, does that make a little bit of sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Anybody else want to see something before we go ahead and wrap her up? Everybody give me a thumbs up if you're good.
Best of 5.
Best of 5. Listen to you. How about best of 3? And there's no best. We're just going to fight 3. 20 minutes.
Watch out the ladder stakes. They're sticking up 2 inches, making me nervous.
He's talking business over there.
Oh. But earlier he wasn't talking any.
No, he's waiting for 2.
That was a good leg.
We're not.
Ladder.
That's
Somebody running on me working. Apparently the ladder's a magnet.
I think I blocked it.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That was awesome. Give me a sec, I'll tell you stuff. All right, I'm winded, so it's gonna be hard, but we'll do it anyway. So, maybe 3/5 of the way through or so, 3/4, give or take. If you notice, there was a point where he fired an offside shot to my head. What that told me was, Bronis knows more than anybody, you don't throw cross shots against a lefty. That's the rule. So when you break it, you better know what you're doing. So he threw this and made me think, you know what? My hips are back, which is bringing my hand down. It makes me heavy on my feet because I'm starting to get tired. So he cut out and could safely throw that with impunity. If he missed, he missed. If he hit, he got a kill. But he had no danger in that place. And I realized, even though I'm tired, I have got, in fact, more than when you're not tired, you have to have good form. So I stepped back and I put my hips back under me where they belong, and I connected them to his sword. And then I was able to gain more 50-50 control. And he didn't have, what it felt like was, he'd realized he'd gotten me tired and folded and was ready to monopolize on it.
And that's 100%.
And then I figured it out, so I fixed it. So in the middle of him going, oh, all right, I don't have that, time to build something new, I put pressure back in and was able to get inside and get a shot off.
Right, he actually took the lead because after he squared up, that I don't want to go for the offside, but I thought I could essentially, I had already built it, it's there, I'm going to keep the pressure there. And then when I went there and there was nothing, then he took the lead because I presented threat into nothing, which gave him the ability to go ahead and be offensive.
Yep, so he knew when he threatened the second time that I had corrected. So he didn't go, but it meant that my correction essentially shut down his shot. I got a block because I fixed my stance.
And he didn't have to think about anything, so he could think about now pushing it back on me.
Exactly. So now tying this into ladder drills and Pell drills, when we talk about where you're turning, where your hips are pointing, and what your intent is, this is why. And so when we're out here, part of our mind can be unconscious, so the rest can be freed up for conscious processing. Okay, I got unconsciously down here. My conscious mind became aware of it. I made the corrections. Now my unconscious mind could do this correctly, leaving my conscious mind free to make decisions. So just as his conscious mind had gotten to the point where he knew what was going on, and then when he went to execute it and recognize a change, he was forced to stop and start reprocessing his thinking. And that's the time when I was going, okay, now I have a window of a couple seconds where I've started planning ahead of time.
Right. He took
before he takes it back, before he takes control back again. Before I get too tired and can't get my arm up. So I went into that. So that's what happened inside us. Does that make sense?
Big thumbs up across a couple of them. So Bess, I'm hoping that helps explain that conscious and unconscious mind a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for our thing. So yeah, that's I'll be sure to bring that out.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea. So you can see how we have to think. So there's the example of him leaning over and pushing this, and me skipping that one off the top of his head gave him the ability to think, what am I doing wrong, and reevaluate. If he's not thinking, he doesn't fix that. So the idea is if you're truly unconscious mind all the time, sometimes you miss opportunities to fix what has been going wrong. So So that's why we're very careful on making sure everything's perfect through the whole fight.
Yep. So we've talked some at the last coaches thing. We talked about 80% of being the 80% focus on your fighting changes as it goes on. Here we talked about unconscious and conscious mind. Don't think of any of these things as separate nor fixed. Okay? So when you start, you're going to be almost all conscious mind, but you'll begin to get things unconsciously. We lament about it because we worked so hard to get movement, and then we have new people come in here and they spar with us and they just pick up the movement. Okay, they don't have to unlearn anything, so we're like, we had to work at it and you just get it for free. So that's but it goes right into their unconscious. But when we're doing this, like this example I gave, my unconscious mind was doing the basics, was making my body move the way it was supposed to. My conscious mind was gaining information from what my unconscious mind was doing. But at a certain point, my conscious mind connects with my unconscious and says, you're doing something wrong. The information we're getting is because you're doing something wrong. You need to change something. That's why he had that shot. So part of my unconscious becomes conscious when I make the correction. Once I moved a couple steps and went, okay, this is where it feels right, I can let go of that conscious and go back to, I can let go of the unconscious and go back to conscious and process. Okay, so they flex up and down.
This is the real reason you have to be engaged in that thought, because at some point you will fall into bad mistakes, and if you're not thinking about it, you will stay into it until you lose.
Yeah, you'll try throwing harder, you'll try throwing faster,
and it
you'll
won't
try all kinds of things, and none of them will work because you don't even know what the mistake is.
Right.
So your conscious mind has to be aware, but your unconscious mind executes. So
we're going to wrap it up. All right, so that hopefully gave an idea on some of the conscious, unconscious mind and how that fight develops. You could see there was a ton of little fakes in there. You could see there were all kinds of pressures in there. You could see where we try to separate the sides. You could see where the footwork was involved to see how we're trying footwork to now manipulate our opponent and see where the weaknesses are. Tons of different things. And that's the part that we're trying to get all of you to understand better. So, all right, so we're going to wrap it up. And thank you very much. And post up on the board, let everybody know how today went and what you learned so they can maybe go back and want to take a look at it. That way we keep everybody still coming out and learning, because I've been getting a lot of feedback, and some of that feedback's been really, really cool about how people are actually thinking when they're fighting now.
Yeah, it also helps us to know.
Yeah, and as really, I mean, a lot of it is like, this is the first time I've actually thought about doing stuff on people. And as you can do that, the better those fights will become. But there are still some of those physical pieces, like moving both your shields and sword at the same time, separating that body. All of those pieces still need to be honed and worked on. Even Rongvalder and I are working on stuff, right? Where he found I'm leaning, he's himself leaning, he fixed it. At the end there, he hit me in the leg because he transitioned range far faster than I thought he could, and I was being lazy. So that's some of that piece. I let the tension off, and he used that. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week. See you next Sunday.
All right. Yeah, that way you can pack it all the electronic equipment. You don't have a coin?